Don't wait until you are in the emergency room. In working on my own rehab, I would ask questions in the Meander Toward Greatness group about my rehab, and often Zach and Brian would answer those questions with, "Show us your food numbers and chronometer." And I would procrastinate, often not thinking about it, but I didn't want to learn how to use another app. I didn't want to take the time and put my uh, food journal in there. So I procrastinated until I ended up in the emergency room with blood pressure through the roof. Even then, I still procrastinated on that. I left the hospital saying I'm going to buckle down on my rehab and I'm going to buckle down on my diet. And I absolutely was eating 100% what I would say is healthy for me. That said, I still procrastinated on chronometer until a month later. I had another emergency episode, and at that time, Brian said, "Show me your numbers in chronometer." And that's when it finally hit me. I have to do this. So I took an afternoon, took a few hours, and looked at it. Learning how to use chronometer was actually rather easy, much easier than I thought it would be. And yes, putting in my numbers originally, uh, putting in my food journal originally took a couple hours, but after that, it's really easy. So I'm encouraging anybody that is trying to dial in their diet, because that made the huge difference. Because even though I was eating 100% healthy, my rehab was still unstable. And I went back to them and said, how do I know what I'm doing? Everything's so unstable. And the answer from the group was, dial in your nutrition. So I finally put it into chronometer, and it was eye opening. And it's been usually eye opening for anybody I've done it with since. My aha moment when I put my food journal into chronometer was, and as I say this, it sounds so blatantly obvious to me, but it wasn't until I did this, that you could be eating really well. You could be eating 100% what you consider healthy, but your ratios could be way off on your minerals or vitamins or anything. You could, or your fats, you could be really high, you could be really low. And in putting it in here, you have a much better idea of where you are and what you need to do to truly dial it in. And that makes a huge difference when your health is compromised in any way. So, uh, I am on a Windows laptop, and to me, that's the easiest thing to work it on. You can have it, and it's free online. And you could put it the app on your iPhone or your iPad. It's about $5.99, and I do have it on my phone. But working with it to me is much easier online. The one benefit of having the 5.99 app on your phone is you can use a barcode and scan something. And if you scan it from your phone, it automatically syncs with online. And that's the only way I personally use the app. I change everything and enter anything and copy and paste anything from the computer. So the first time you add stuff in here, and let's give you a little quick tutorial. And if anybody else has any other ideas, please add them into the comments. So you add a food, and the first time you're entering anything, but as you're entering them, if it's something you use a lot, mark it as favorites, and I'll show you how. So let's go ground beef. All right. So, and as you're typing, I would definitely look and see if it's there. Okay. Now, if it's something you want to put into favorites before you add it, you'd star it, check the serving and serving size, and add it. And then next time, if you needed to put that in there, you could get it out of your favorites. You can also go back here on the computer. If you clicked and you hold shift and click on anything that you want to copy and paste, and then you'd right click, copy selected items, page. Where do you want to paste it? You do have to have one item in here, so sometimes I'll just throw in one item and paste. And so if there's something that you had a day or two earlier that's the same, you can just copy and paste it. So that makes it much easier. Definitely want to put all your supplements in here as well. And same idea as adding a common food, but now you're going with supplements. Magnesium as an example, and pick what you're using. Again, check the serving sizes and add that in there and get all your supplements in there as well. Once you have everything in there, definitely being specific with whatever's going on with you and look at the big picture. But some key things that I like to look at: polyunsaturated fats. So keeping those low. And one of the things, the great things, if you think you're getting too much or too little, you can hover on the computer anyway, hover over it, and okay, where are my 1.7 grams of polyunsaturated fats coming from? Cheddar cheese, carrots, hamburger, orange juice, and it's in about everything. But if you put something like pizza or something highly processed, or you know, stuff like that, you'd see much bigger numbers. So definitely keeping those polyunsaturated fats down as low as possible. And then some other stuff that I definitely look at is, all right, am I getting at least my 1,000 milligrams of calcium, my 500 milligrams of magnesium, my 1,000 milligrams of phosphorus, my 5,000 milligrams of potassium, am I getting my sodium? Personally, I don't look at the red and green too much. I mean, yeah, if you see a color sticking out, yeah, look at it. But more importantly is knowing what these numbers are and what's important to you, and the ratio is important to you. All right. I hope this helps. And same thing over here. Like, hey, you can hover over this and say, hey, where am I getting my calcium if I need to go up or down on that? Some ideas. One example for me was, besides this, when I first put my stuff in, I was having a tough time getting my phosphorus up where I needed to be for the ratio. And I just, besides looking in here, what am I getting at? I'm like, oh, I need something else that's kind of high in phosphorus and not so high in calcium. So a little bit of scallops put me right where I needed to be. So I just Googled, hey, what are some high phosphorus foods? And you could do the same. All right, again, hope this helps. Definitely give me any feedback if you got any other ideas on how to better use this. Let me know.